soon as I hit the record button, the phone went bleep. Hello there, I'm Robert McKay. The channel is Christianity on the Bottom Shelf. Yes, I am rolling up my sleeves even as I record. I'm congenitally casual anyway, and this is part of my preparation, part of my setup, but I left it till last because my hands were busy. I am speaking to you from your past. I'm recording this on the very early morning, about 12:30, 00:30 in military time, of July 30th. By the time you see this, at the very least, it will be Sunday instead of Thursday. Let's see, if the 30th is Thursday, then Friday, Saturday, Sunday. June has 30 days, so this is the last day of June. So at the very earliest, you won't see this until the 3rd of August. And it may be later than that. It's interesting, at least to me, to think that I'm sitting here right now, talking to you, talking to the camera, and by the time you see this, it will have been at least 3 days since I recorded it. And maybe months, weeks. Months, weeks. Yes, weeks, months, years before you see it. Who knows? I'm going to turn over. This is a verse I actually can remember the location. I'm going to turn over to John 14:6, that's in the New Testament. John is the 4th book of the New Testament. It's the 4th of what we call the Gospels as well. And in John 14:6, we're listening to Jesus himself now. Jesus said to Thomas, You should always read what comes before and what comes after, even if I only read the one verse. Jesus said to him, I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father but through me. That's kind of intolerant, isn't it? There's only one way, only one truth, only one life, and Jesus is it, and no one comes to God except through him? That's pretty exclusive. There are people out there who refuse to believe that Christianity is in any way exclusive. They want to welcome all and sundry without any genuine faith, without any transformation of life, without any alteration of character. And in taking that approach, they flatly contradict the Christ they claim to follow. Islam is exclusive, but nobody gets upset about that. Islam is so exclusive that if a Muslim becomes anything else, the automatic sentence is death. Islam is so exclusive that it believes that every single child born in the world, not just in Muslim countries, but in the world, is a Muslim, and other people pull him away from that and corrupt him. But nobody complains about Islam being exclusive. You know, I don't speak Arabic. The way I say it is shahada. It might be something else. Shahada, who knows? But it's that statement that there is no God but God and Muhammad is his prophet. There's no God but God? You mean all the multifarious gods of Hinduism? are wrong and non-existent? Well, yes, that's what Islam says. And nobody pitches a fit when Christianity says all the multifarious gods of Hinduism are false. All of a sudden, everybody pitches that fit. And they call us intolerant. Well, I long ago, and other people are coming to this same attitude, I long ago quit worrying myself when people call me names that aren't true. You know, if I say anyone who came to this country illegally should go back where he came from by force if necessary, and those people call me a racist, I say, no, I'm not a racist. I'm just right. And calling me a racist isn't going to change the truth nor my opinion. You've probably seen those memes of Steven Crowder, I think that's who it is, sitting at a table with the banner, "Change My Mind." He does that. He sets up his table and invites people to come and change his mind on something. Well, you know what doesn't change anybody's mind? Calling names. Call me a racist. Go ahead. Do it. Don't hurt me. All it does is prove that you don't have the truth on your side. It's on my side, or you would prove it otherwise. Same with Christianity. Say my faith is intolerant. Well, yeah, it is. I don't just admit it, I proclaim it. Jesus is the way, the truth, the life, and no one ever comes to the Father except through Him. You don't like it? Well, that's your privilege, but you're wrong. It makes you mad? It makes you mad. Doesn't change the truth. You think it's bigoted? Well, you can think so, but reality doesn't alter because you think so. A granite boulder is a granite boulder. Period. End of discussion. And if you don't like it, the granite boulder just goes on its way and doesn't even know you exist. Reality is utterly unsympathetic to crybabies who don't like it. Am I being harsh? If reality's harsh, then I guess I am. Again, you can call me that. Doesn't bother me. I only care about that word or any other insult if by studying the Bible I find that God calls me that. If God in His revelation makes it plain to me that I'm being harsh, then I'll change, because I don't intend to be harsh by God's standard. If I'm harsh by man's standard, that's a whole nother deal. And dig this. Those of you who want Christianity, assuming such people are watching the video, I don't know who's watching, so I just have to act as though those I'm thinking of and talking of are watching. Those of you who demand that Christianity dump its exclusivity are yourselves excluding biblical Christianity. I have found that those who screech the loudest about tolerance are the most intolerant. That those who holler the most about inclusion are the fiercest excluders. That those who whine the most about being loving are in fact the least loving toward those they disagree with or who disagree with them. How dare we disagree with the self-righteous, self-centered, self-appointed guardians of the world. How dare we disagree with them? Well, I do. I answer to only one human being, my wife. And above her, I answer only to God. Wait, you answer to your wife? Now, if you're a Christian, and understand that this channel is for those who know little or nothing about Christianity, but if you're a Christian watching this and you're thinking of the 5th of Ephesians where it says that a wife is to submit to her husband, yes, that's true. I believe it. It also says a husband is to love his wife, to put her welfare above his, no matter what it costs him. I don't just bully my wife. I don't just issue orders and demand blind obedience. I love her, and therefore her opinion matters to me, even if, after consideration, I think her opinion is dead wrong. What she wants to do matters to me, even if, after looking at it, I find that what she wants to do is the wrong thing to do. In my life as a human being, my wife comes before anyone else. And then I answer to God. Strange, isn't it, that a Christian would say that he answers to God? Nobody minds if a Muslim says he has to answer to his God. Nobody thinks it odd or subversive of society if a Hindu says he has to obey his gods. But let a Christian say, I must obey God rather than men, and all of a sudden, oh, Christian nationalism, oh, theocracy. Did you know there's a double standard? Anybody can pretty much get away with anything except a Christian who's living by the Bible. All of a sudden, things that are perfectly fine when anyone and everyone else does them are evil when a Christian does them. That's the attitude of the world. Obviously, I don't think that. But to come back to this verse, yes, Christianity is exclusive, it is intolerant, and specifically Christianity is intolerant of error. If we follow the one who is the truth, then we must equally value truth and disvalue error. And my phone moved again. Normally, I don't have this problem. I don't know why I'm having it tonight. I'll live with it. If I follow Christ, who is the truth, then I have an obligation to seek the truth, to believe the truth, and to live according to the truth, which means that I must reject all error. I cannot believe the truth about a granite boulder without rejecting the notion that it's a sandstone ledge, because the idea that it's a sandstone ledge is not true. Simply to say, this is Coca-Cola, and it is, simply to say that can contains Coca-Cola is to, by definition, say it does not contain Dr. Pepper, it does not contain Pepsi, it does not contain Mountain Dew, it does not contain Sprite. It is to exclude every single other liquid on earth. And nobody complains about that kind of exclusivity. because it's so obviously true. Well, if Jesus is telling the truth here in John 14:6, then you have no valid reason to complain about Christian exclusivity because it's so obviously true. And if Jesus said it, who's going to say it's not true? There will be some, I'm sure. They might try to separate it from Christ before they say it's not true. But the fact is, Jesus said it. That settles it. And it doesn't matter one form bit whether you or I or anybody else believe it or not. The truth is the truth, period, in and of itself. It's true that can is Coca-Cola, even if nobody ever says it. And even if everybody on earth questions it, it's still true. Truth is not relative. Truth, by definition, is absolute. It is that which is. It is that which agrees with reality. And the notion of relative truth is inherently oxymoronic. It contradicts itself. Well, that's true for you, but it's not true for me. Oh, well, it is true for me, but it's not true for you? How does that work? All truth is relative. Oh, including that statement? Years ago, back in the 90s, before Facebook, before YouTube, before Google, before any of this, when the World Wide Web was still in the realm of text-based web browsers, even though the web is in fact simply the GUI, the graphical user interface for the internet. Way back then, when almost everybody in cyberspace got there via a BBS, and there were multiple BBS networks, and you could be on more than one of them. It wasn't like today where there are just a few outlets. Way back then, somebody, I believe it was in the Rhyme Religion Conference, it might have been somewhere else, but somebody said to me, all truth is relative. And I said, oh, is that absolutely true? Yes. In other words, his truth he was willing to accept as absolute, even though that truth said there is no absolute truth. He contradicted himself. Relativism cannot stand. It's full of holes. It's like a one-legged tripod. It falls flat every time. It don't work. What does work is that Jesus is the way, the truth, the life. No one comes to the Father except through Him. And so my prayer is that you'll quit looking to man-made notions and come through Christ to the true God.